At 5:30 in the morning, the Germans launch a fierce attack on the airfields of Melamna and Heraklion in Crete. Meanwhile, at the Greek bases of Megara, Corinth, and Tanagra, J-52s carrying paratroopers commanded by General Kurt Student are prepared for the first large-scale airborne attack in history. More than 40,000 Allied soldiers, British, Australians, New Zealanders, and Greeks are stationed on the island, led by General Bernard Freyberg. The Germans begin Operation Mercury, Mercur, the prelude to the Battle of Crete. A total of 25,000 men, 4,500 of them paratroopers, have the mission of driving the Allied troops from the island. The first wave of attacks is repelled by the Allied defenders, with the Germans suffering high casualties. After a delay, the second wave of airborne troops is able to besiege the airfield at Melamna and cut its lines of communication. Unable to contact headquarters, Lieutenant Colonel Leslie Wilton Andrew, commanding the New Zealander troops defending the complex, orders his men to withdraw during the night, clearing the way for the German forces. In the Mediterranean, the first Junker planes start to land on Crete at the deserted airfield of Melamna, and the town is occupied by German paratroopers. Despite the heavy losses of men and aircraft, the J-52s land one after another, loaded with weapons, munitions, and infantry. Allied resistance puts the brakes on the German army's attempt to take the peninsula of Akrotiri, Rethymnon, and Heraklius. However, the German High Command is confident that the most critical phase of the operation has been carried out successfully, and the next objective is to clear the north coast of the island, which is being patrolled by Royal Navy ships. Royal Navy ships patrolling the northern coast of Crete in search of German troop ships coming from Greece are forced to endure the attacks of enemy planes. During the battle, the destroyer Juno and the cruiser Gloucester are sunk, while the Ajax, the Warspite, and the Valiant, which has on board midshipman Prince Philip of Greece, are damaged. The British are forced to retreat. Around Heraklion and Rethymnon, German paratroopers suffer hundreds of casualties due to Allied fire and request reinforcements. Meanwhile, General Bernard Freyberg, after failing to take Melamna Airport from the east, orders the withdrawal of his troops. In the Mediterranean theater, German troops occupy Chania in Crete as reinforcements continue to arrive. The Allied forces withdraw towards Galatos. At the same time, the Luftwaffe attacks Royal Navy ships, sinking the destroyers Kashmir and Kelly, commanded by Lord Mountbatten, who manages to save his life by jumping overboard. On Crete, in the Aegean, Commander Bernard Freyberg, in charge of the Allied troops, comes to the conclusion that the situation is untenable and orders his troops to evacuate the island immediately. The soldiers withdraw towards Sfakia, Palaeokora, and Plakias on the south coast to embark on Royal Navy vessels. In Crete, Allied resistance is limited to protecting the places where the troops are embarking to be transported to Alexandria in Egypt. During the evacuation, the British destroyers Imperial and Hereward are sunk by German planes. The Germans have taken most of Crete. The Allies are only hanging on at few beaches and small ports from where Royal Navy ships are continuously evacuating soldiers to the port of Alexandria in Egypt. The loss of Crete, a key strategic location, is a hard blow to Churchill's government. The British hoped to control the island in order to intercept vessels taking oil to Germany from Romania and as a base from which to launch air raids against the Ploesti oil fields. The Battle of Crete comes to an end. General Freyberg leaves the island on the hydroplane Sunderland and puts Divisional General Eric Wilson in charge of the last troops remaining on the island, waiting to be evacuated. The Wehrmacht and the Luftwaffe have won a great victory over the Allied forces, but at a high cost. 25,000 men have taken part in the operation, with a toll of 6,500 casualties. The 7th German Airborne Division has been virtually annihilated, with many of its most able men being killed. In addition, 370 aircraft have been lost. In view of the high death toll among paratroopers, Hitler orders that no more operations of this type are to be carried out in the future. For their part, the Allies have managed to evacuate most of their troops, though of the 43,000 men stationed in the island, 15,000 have been killed or taken prisoner. This is the third time in a year that Royal Navy ships have been forced to undertake a major evacuation of troops under fire from the Luftwaffe. On this occasion, the operation has involved the loss of 3 cruisers and 6 destroyers, sunk by German planes, and 2 battleships, 1 aircraft carrier, and 7 destroyers have been badly damaged.